In the boundless tapestry of space, where empires rise and fall like the shifting sands of an ancient battlefield, the cosmos held its breath at the audacity of humanity. Across distant galaxies, whispers of human tenacity had already begun to unsettle even the most imperious of alien warlords. For centuries, the Seraphics had ruled with an iron fist, their arrogance matched only by their unyielding belief that Earth's militaries were relics of a bygone era. Yet, in the shadows of human history lay secrets and strategies as old as time itself, strategies that would soon be resurrected with a bold twist of irreverent humor and a defiant spirit that declared, without a hint of apology, that humanity was far more than the sum of its past defeats. Amidst the interstellar cacophony of threats and challenges, General Kalen Cross stood as a bastion of calm and cunning. Known for his unshakable resolve and an uncanny knack for delivering sardonic quips at the most inopportune moments, Cross had long believed that the key to victory was not merely brute force but a deep, almost poetic understanding of history. With a gaze as steely as tempered plasma and a wit sharper than any energy blade, he prepared to lead his forces into the fray with a plan as audacious as it was unconventional. He had always maintained that if humanity could survive the absurdities of medieval plagues, drunken Renaissance brawls, and endless political quagmires, then facing an alien armada should be no more than another chapter in an epic saga of survival. Beside him, Lieutenant Mira Song moved with a deliberate grace, her mind a repository of forgotten lore and cryptic battle codes. Mira was renowned not only for her tactical brilliance but also for her unfiltered remarks that cut through the tension like a well-honed dagger. "I'd sooner decipher these ancient scrolls than decode your overinflated alien pomp," she once quipped, earning a rare smile from her superiors. In the dim light of a long-forgotten vault, where dust motes danced like tiny specters in the air, Mira unearthed the secrets of a long-lost military tradition known as the Elysian Requiem. This was no mere relic of a dusty past, it was a living blueprint that blended the honor of ancient duels with the ferocity of modern guerrilla tactics, a formula that promised to catch the prideful Seraphics utterly off guard. The air of anticipation was palpable as the calm before the storm settled over the Earth command centers. There was an unspoken understanding among the ranks, a shared belief that what lay ahead was not merely a battle for survival but a grand performance that would etch humanity's name in the annals of cosmic history. Over hushed conversations and through the static of intercepted transmissions, the unmistakable sound of determination resonated, punctuated by irreverent laughter that defied the solemnity of impending war. Soldiers exchanged offhand remarks that celebrated the absurdity of their predicament, comparing ancient battle tactics to the wildest exploits of modern nightlife. One grizzled veteran, with scars mapping out a history of his own, mused that if their ancestors had survived plagues and feuds fueled by too much wine and too little wisdom, then surely they could best an army of overconfident aliens. Throughout the command centers and battle stations, there was a sense of defiant camaraderie. The strategic brilliance of the Elysian Requiem was matched only by the cultural undercurrent that sustained human morale. In every whispered plan and every shared anecdote, there was a recognition that the very essence of humanity lay in its ability to laugh in the face of adversity. The notion of a faceless, uniform response to the alien threat was quickly dispelled by a mosaic of diverse voices, from the gruff humor of battle-hardened veterans to the irreverent, playful banter of fresh-faced recruits who saw in this moment the ultimate punchline to the cosmic joke of their existence. The backdrop to this impending conflict was painted with hues of both history and innovation. Ancient treatises, etched in fading ink on brittle parchment, were now being decoded and reimagined through the lens of modern warfare. This synthesis of old and new, of tradition and technology, formed the bedrock of a strategy that was as intellectually audacious as it was tactically brilliant. Every line of code deciphered, every archaic maneuver revived, was a nod to the countless generations who had battled, survived, and thrived against insurmountable odds. And, in the quiet moments between strategic briefings and the clamor of preparation, there was an unmistakable undercurrent of mischief, a promise that, should the Seraphics dare to challenge humanity, they would soon be schooled not just in combat, but in the very art of living boldly and laughing defiantly. In this charged atmosphere of expectation and wry humor, General Cross's voice cut through the din with an air of determined confidence. His words, delivered with a measured cadence that balanced gravitas and jest, echoed the sentiment that history was not merely a record of past glories and defeats, but a living, breathing force that could be harnessed to reshape the future. With every strategic decision and every well-timed quip, he reminded his troops that they were not just defenders of Earth, they were the inheritors of a legacy that transcended time and space. As the final preparations fell into place, the silent promise of a coming revolution shimmered in the air. Humanity, with its storied past and irreverent humor, was ready to defy expectations and prove that even the most formidable alien might could be undone by a potent mix of ancient wisdom and modern audacity. In this moment, every heartbeat was a testament to the indomitable spirit of a species that had long learned that survival was best achieved with a wink and a well-placed punchline. And so, with a quiet confidence and a knowing smile, the stage was set for an encounter that would not only redefine interstellar warfare but also deliver a resounding, unmistakable history lesson to a universe that had underestimated the sheer force of human resolve. The interstellar battlefield trembled as the first salvo of the Seraphix crashed upon humanity's fragile defenses. A torrent of alien firepower descended, a brutal demonstration of Zyrak's contempt and overconfidence that shattered the calm and ignited a fierce resolve in every human soul. The shock of the attack was met with a mixture of grim determination and a caustic humor that belied the gravity of the situation. Even as alarms blared and communication lines crackled with urgent commands, a sardonic voice from deep within the ranks quipped that the Seraphix had certainly overestimated the appeal of their pyrotechnics, an offhand remark that soon rippled through the command channels as a subtle act of defiance. Amid the chaos, General Kalen Cross, ever the embodiment of quiet resolve and dry wit, rallied his officers with a tone that balanced urgency with an uncanny levity. Every order he barked carried the weight of a calculated plan, one that was as much about reclaiming lost honor as it was about repelling an invasion. His eyes, steady as they scanned tactical displays, betrayed no sign of panic, only a fervent belief that humanity's most potent weapon was hidden in its storied past. Beside him, Lieutenant Mirasong worked swiftly, her fingers dancing over ancient scrolls that had long been relegated to history. With each faded inscription she deciphered, a glimmer of forgotten brilliance was reborn. She spoke with an edge that cut through the mounting tension, remarking that if the Seraphix had any notion of sophistication, they would soon learn that the most dangerous weapon was not the plasma cannon but the razor-sharp edge of old-school strategy. As the bombardment intensified, the forgotten tradition of the Elysian Requiem was reawakened in the minds of the elite forces. The very same texts that had once chronicled the noble duels of ancient warriors were now being meticulously reinterpreted and adapted to modern warfare. Every archaic maneuver was repackaged into a tactical blueprint designed to exploit the enemy's arrogance and over-reliance on brute force. With meticulous precision, orders flowed from the command center, coordinated strikes that blended the disciplined art of ancient duels with the unpredictable, guerrilla skirmishes of modern combat. The synergy of past and present became a tangible force on the battlefield, a relentless tide set to overwhelm the alien invaders. Amid this resurgence of ancient honor, a singular figure emerged, a young cyberhistorian whose unconventional methods began to reshape the morale of both soldiers and civilians alike. Livia Oren, with her irreverent humor and unyielding creativity, transformed archaic texts into vibrant digital manifestations. Her holographic recreations of long-forgotten battles, peppered with cheeky modern references and tongue-in-cheek commentary, reinvigorated the spirit of resistance. Soldiers, exhausted by the unending barrage, found solace and strength in her innovative displays. They marveled at how she could, with a few deft strokes of her digital pen, turn grim historical accounts into rallying cries filled with ironic humor. Livia's work served as a reminder that history was not merely a record of suffering and defeat, but a wellspring of resilience and, in her unique style, a source of defiant laughter in the face of overwhelming odds. Deep within the ranks of the alien forces, a fissure began to crack the veneer of unyielding obedience. Commander Tyrix, once a fervent advocate of Zyrak's ruthless doctrine, found himself increasingly troubled by the stark disparity between his orders and the quiet dignity with which humanity fought. Haunted by a series of moments where the brutality of his own people clashed with an unexpected sense of fairness in human tactics, Tyrix started to question the righteousness of his mission. His internal struggle was as palpable as the electric charge in the air, a silent rebellion that promised to upend the carefully choreographed assault. In stolen moments, he clandestinely exchanged coded messages with human operatives, his actions a testament to the universal yearning for justice. Even as he grappled with the weight of his decisions, a wry thought crossed his mind. Perhaps the alien's obsession with sheer might was no match for a force driven by the irreverent spirit of human ingenuity. The mounting tension and the reawakened valor of the human spirit coalesced into a plan of unprecedented audacity. Every command, every carefully recalculated strategy, was infused with the wisdom of ages past and the modern flair for unpredictability. As the battle lines shifted and the alien onslaught ebbed and flowed, the human forces moved with a precision that belied their seemingly improvised methods. The clamor of artillery was interwoven with the resolute murmur of ancient verses brought to life, a harmonious discord that baffled the Seraphics, who had never encountered such a blend of tradition and modernity. In whispered exchanges over secure channels, a veteran remarked that this fusion of history and raw determination was something even the gods of war would envy, an acknowledgement that transcended the boundaries of time and space. Every moment on that turbulent battlefield was a testament to the enduring power of cultural identity and the defiant spirit of rebellion. The ancient codes, once confined to brittle parchment and fading ink, had become a living force that redefined what it meant to fight with honor. The echoes of bygone eras resonated deeply in every calculated maneuver and every burst of unexpected laughter. In a universe where overwhelming power was often equated with inevitable victory, humanity's revival of the Elysian Requiem challenged that very notion. The stark juxtaposition of relics and modern warfare, of scholarly insight and savage combat, created a narrative of resilience that was as inspiring as it was unorthodox. As the battle raged on, every participant, from the battle-hardened veterans to the fresh recruits, felt the weight of a legacy that spanned centuries. It was a legacy defined not by the absence of fear, but by the audacity to face it head-on, armed with the wit and wisdom of those who had come before. In that crucible of fire and defiance, the promise of a cultural renaissance, one that bridged the past and the future, was etched indelibly into the annals of history. The clash of ancient honor and modern strategy was not merely a tactic for survival, it was an unapologetic declaration that the human spirit could, indeed, triumph even in the face of the most insurmountable odds. The assault erupted in a blaze of energy and steel, a dazzling convergence of ancient honor and modern tactics that transformed the battlefield into a living testament to human ingenuity. The clash began with a rapid sequence of coordinated strikes, each move a carefully orchestrated echo of long-forgotten martial traditions, now reborn to confound an enemy steeped in its own hubris. As human forces surged forward, their every maneuver seemed to draw power from a deep reservoir of historical resilience, their actions as precise and deliberate as the words of a timeless epic recited in defiant unison. In the heart of the fray, the synthesis of old and new became undeniable. Soldiers moved with an elegance that belied the chaos surrounding them, executing ancient duels with the refined grace of masters long dead, all while harnessing cutting-edge technology to disrupt the enemy's formations. Energy blades clashed against alien plasma shields in a rhythm that resonated like the beating of an ancient war drum. The sound of combat was punctuated by witty banter and irreverent quips, a battle cry delivered with a smirk. A retort laced with the kind of adult humor that could only come from those who had seen the worst of war and still found a reason to laugh. At the center of this orchestrated tempest, General Kalen Cross engaged a formidable Seraphix warrior in a duel that epitomized the spirit of the Elysian Requiem. Their weapons, one an energy-infused blade and the other a ceremonial sword resurrected from the annals of history, met in sparks and arcs of light. Every parry and riposte was executed with a calculated precision, each strike echoing centuries of battle-hardened wisdom. Cross's measured calm and wry commentary during the duel underlined a truth, that even in the heat of combat, there was room for a subtle, almost mischievous humor. His inner monologue revealed a wry satisfaction at the notion that his opponent's overconfidence was as much a liability as it was a strength. Every move was not only a physical act, but a philosophical statement, one that defied the arrogance of an alien empire that believed brute force was the only path to victory. As the duel intensified, the surrounding battle transformed into a maelstrom of calculated chaos. Lieutenant Mira Song led her unit with a blend of technical prowess and an irreverent disregard for the enemy's pomp, her instructions crisp and laden with the kind of humor that belied the deadly seriousness of their mission. Her team executed hit-and-run tactics, exploiting every vulnerability with the precision of a scholar unraveling a centuries-old cipher. Every maneuver was a deliberate reminder that human history was not a static record of bygone glories, but a dynamic toolkit for survival, ready to be adapted and deployed at a moment's notice. Meanwhile, an unexpected ripple of dissent began to surface among the alien ranks. Commander Tyrix, whose eyes betrayed a mounting internal conflict, moved with a deliberate hesitation that set him apart from his comrades. His actions were marked by subtle, almost imperceptible deviations from the strict orders of High Commander Zyrak, a pause here, a misdirected signal there, each a silent protest against the brutality of his own people. In clandestine exchanges, Tyrix communicated with human operatives, his gestures speaking volumes of a personal quest for redemption. His gradual defection was a quiet revolution that sowed seeds of doubt among the ranks of the Seraphics, and his covert assistance became a pivotal factor in undermining the enemy's cohesion. Amid the intense combat, the narrative of the battle unfolded with a relentless pace. Every soldier, every operative, played a role in a grand tapestry that wove together valor, wit, and historical wisdom. The battlefield was not merely a place of bloodshed, but a stage where the human spirit shone with a luminous defiance, turning each moment into a declaration of independence from the tyranny of overwhelming power. The juxtaposition of archaic dueling rituals with the unyielding force of modern technology created a surreal landscape, where the clamor of energy weapons was interspersed with the soft echoes of ancient chants and the murmurs of forgotten legends. Even as the clash reached its zenith, there was a lingering undertone of levity that permeated the chaos, a reminder that in the crucible of war, humor could be as potent a weapon as any blade. Soldiers traded banter over secure channels, remarking on the absurdity of the situation with a blend of cynicism and camaraderie. A seasoned fighter, catching his breath between bursts of action, joked about the improbability of finding a decent cocktail in the midst of an interstellar conflict, eliciting a brief but genuine laugh from those around him. Such moments of levity underscored the profound truth that while war was inherently brutal, the human capacity to laugh at its own absurdity was a defiant act of resilience. As the battle raged on, the duel between General Cross and his alien counterpart reached a critical juncture. With a final, resounding strike that fused the elegance of ancient technique with the ferocity of modern combat, Cross disarmed his foe, symbolically turning the tide of the encounter. The clash of their weapons subsided into a hushed silence that spoke louder than any roar of victory, a moment where the weight of history bore down on the present. In that heartbeat of silence, it was clear that humanity's revival of the Elysian Requiem was not just a tactical maneuver, but a philosophical triumph over an enemy that had underestimated the power of legacy and humor. In the midst of the fray, Commander Tyrix's covert defection reached its crescendo. His actions, though subtle, rippled through the enemy's ranks, fracturing the unified front of the Seraphics. The once impenetrable lines of alien warriors began to show cracks, their rigid discipline faltering in the face of a rebellion sparked from within. The unexpected alliance of a defector with human forces served as a powerful reminder that even the staunchest ideologies could be swayed by the undeniable allure of justice and a touch of human irreverence. His internal rebellion became a catalyst for chaos among the enemy, reinforcing the notion that a war fought with both intellect and humor was a war destined for an unpredictable outcome. With every pulse of the battle, the legacy of humanity was etched further into the annals of cosmic history, a history defined by the audacity to blend ancient honor with modern defiance, and by a spirit that could laugh even in the face of annihilation. The fierce, multifaceted conflict unfolded as a living chronicle, a vivid narrative that bore witness to the power of resilience, innovation, and the irrepressible human will to overcome. The battlefield fell silent as the last echoes of combat faded into a heavy, reflective stillness. In the wake of chaos, humanity's audacious gamble had reshaped the war, leaving behind scars that were as much emblematic as they were physical. The remnants of shattered alien formations and scattered debris bore witness to a conflict that had turned the tide not merely through brute force, but with a cunning blend of ancient wisdom and irreverent modern strategy. The air, tinged with the acrid scent of energy residue and spent ammunition, carried a palpable weight, a collective exhalation of relief intermingled with the bittersweet aftertaste of hard-won victory. General Kalen Cross stood amidst the hushed aftermath, his gaze unwavering as he surveyed the field with a mixture of pride and solemn contemplation. The intricate tapestry of valor and humor woven into every maneuver had coalesced into a testament to human resilience. His measured words, delivered with the dry wit that had become his hallmark, resonated with a quiet authority. History isn't written by the victors alone, he mused, his tone laced with both gravity and a subtle, knowing jest. It's penned by those who dare to mix honor with a healthy dose of irreverence. His reflection was not one of self-congratulation, but rather a recognition of the enduring spirit that had carried his people through centuries of adversity. Lieutenant Mirasong, ever the embodiment of intellectual prowess and razor-sharp humor, moved among the survivors with a focused determination. Her eyes, still bright with the fervor of battle, scanned the recovering lines with the precision of someone who had not only deciphered ancient scrolls but also the complexities of human emotion. In hushed exchanges, she recounted the valor displayed by her comrades, her words underscored by a wry commentary that transformed each loss and each victory into a lesson both bitter and sweet. "We fought not just with muscle and might," she remarked with a dry smile, "but with every page of our history, our very own guide to surviving the absurdities of war." Her tone, both candid and defiant, mirrored the unyielding spirit of a generation that had learned to laugh in the face of calamity. As the dust settled, the cultural renaissance sparked by Livia Oren's digital rebirth of ancient legends began to permeate the recovering human ranks. Her visionary displays, an amalgamation of holographic recreations and irreverent digital art, continued to inspire a newfound pride among the populace. Civilians and soldiers alike found solace in the idea that their struggles were part of a grand narrative, one where history's lessons were not just remembered, but actively repurposed for survival. In quiet corners, groups huddled together, discussing how the humor and resilience of their forebears had been the very weapons that had dismantled the overbearing arrogance of the alien force. Such exchanges, filled with laughter and solemn gratitude in equal measure, reaffirmed a collective belief that the legacy of humanity was a living, breathing force, ever-evolving and eternally defiant. Deep within the fractured lines of the alien hierarchy, the impact of Commander Tyrex's defection began to resonate in unexpected ways. His secret rebellion had not only sown discord among the ranks of the Seraphics, but had also ignited a spark of introspection among those who remained. Whispers of his quiet courage and the ethical quandaries that had driven him to forsake his own kind rippled through the remnants of the enemy's formation. In isolated moments of reflection, even hardened alien warriors appeared to waver, as if confronted with the possibility that the relentless pursuit of dominance might not be the only path to legacy. The ripple effect of Tyrex's actions hinted at a future where reconciliation and reform could emerge from the chaos of conquest, a future where the lessons of the day would extend far beyond the battlefield. In the aftermath of the fierce clash, the process of rebuilding began with a surprising mixture of somber reverence and irreverent optimism. Human leaders convened not only to assess the tangible costs of victory, but also to preserve the intangible triumph of spirit. In the quiet hours that followed, veterans shared personal anecdotes that transcended the immediate brutality of war. Stories laced with wit and wisdom that celebrated the absurdity of conflict and the extraordinary lengths to which humanity would go to defend its honor. There was an unspoken understanding that the victory was not simply a military success, but a cultural renaissance, a moment when the old ways were revived and interwoven with modern ingenuity to craft a future that was as unpredictable as it was hopeful. The enduring message of the day was delivered in the soft cadence of a voiceover, a final, reflective soliloquy that encapsulated the essence of the battle and its aftermath. It declared that history was not a static relic to be preserved in dusty tomes, but a dynamic force, continuously shaped by those who dared to challenge destiny with bold humor and steadfast resolve. In this new dawn, humanity's triumph was measured not merely by the vanquishing of an arrogant foe, but by the unyielding ability to transform adversity into art, sorrow into laughter, and defeat into a clarion call for renewal. Every scar etched into the earth, every whispered memory shared among survivors, bore testimony to the fact that true victory lay in the courage to remember, adapt, and move forward with a defiant smile. And so, as the remnants of battle gave way to the promise of a rebuilt future, humanity stepped confidently into the next chapter, a chapter that would forever be marked by the extraordinary blend of history, humor, and the indomitable spirit that had once delivered an unforgettable lesson to the cosmos.